Evening, Miles CMF. Pierce, good to see you. How you doing? Evening, Miles CMF. Pierce, good to see you. Joe, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening, Miles. How you doing? I'm doing great, brother. How you doing? Apologies, everyone, for starting the live show off about 10 minutes late. Evening, Miles. Susie, good to see you as well. How you doing? Thank you so much to everyone that's retweeting the live show. Friday night, so I'm allowed to stay up late. Let's go, Joe. Good evening, CMF. Stormy, good to see you as well. How you doing, Stormy? Funky brother, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hello, Miles. Up, down, or sideways? Down, sideways, slightly up. But down first, then sideways. But good to see you as well. How you doing, Cass? Messi, good to see you as well. How you doing? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? Vibe, good to see you as well. How you doing? Miles, the XRP Ledger call on X earlier got a bit heated, long. The XRP Ledger, so the XRP Ledger Spaces, is that you're referring to? I joined it for a bit, but then I went back to making the notes for the CMF live show, so I didn't get to tune in for the rest of the Spaces. Was it getting overheated? Good evening, Miles and all. Good to see you as well. Adi, how you doing? How you been? Cass, good to see you as well. How you doing? I was getting paranoid thinking I'm banned from YouTube and X. No, I'm banned from YouTube. We just take a little bit extra tonight. But, we'll carry on the live show a little bit later. Kamal, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? What's up, brother Miles? How you been? Billo, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi, everyone. Troy, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you doing, Miles? I'm doing great, Sam. Good to see you as well. How you doing? Miles, don't forget to tag us when you get on live. I always want to see what you have to say. Yes, definitely. I will definitely do that inside Telegram group. Yesterday, I joined Spaces after the live show, just randomly. I joined Larry's space after the live show just to see what was going on. I was there for, I think, 2 hours. But yeah, next one I'll definitely do. And also, I'm doing an X Spaces. I'm booked in with Larry and a few other members that normally do X Spaces for around May 7th at 5:30 p.m. So I'm good to see you. How you doing? What's happening, Camel? We have a lot of things to cover on tonight's live show. Any advice to get my wife back that left 17 years ago? Any advice to get your wife back that left you 17 years ago? Yeah, move on. It's the best advice anybody could have given you. 1 point, you gotta let it go. Fresh cut, Miles? Yeah, but I did the beard myself and I messed it up, as you can see. Now, looks like I sneezed and I went up. See that patch there? It's not a good look, especially in meetings. I thought about shaving it all off, but I thought the patch might grow back. So, we have a lot of news to cover on tonight's live show regarding Ripple. And we have news regarding, Ripple lawyers talking about the Ethereum case going on right now. So right now we do have the Ethereum case going on. We have the many members coming out of the crypto community giving their opinions on the Ethereum case. We had Ripple's lawyers give out their opinions on essentially the Ethereum case. We had executives from Coinbase giving out their opinions on the Ethereum case to go through as well. We have Ripple's CTO trying to confirm everyone that it's okay. We do have a stable coin coming out, but XRP Ledger's ecosystem is still active and XRP still active, which we'll go through on tonight's live show as well. We also have news regarding BNY Mellon. So BNY Mellon is about to be entering the crypto space as well, and starting with the Bitcoin ETFs. We also have news regarding the EU, regarding DeFi regulations are coming in from the EU as we speak, which will go on through the deadlines as well. We have news regarding the United Kingdom. So the United Kingdom has essentially passed its laws regarding strict crypto regulations and how they can seize your crypto assets. So we talked about the United Kingdom going through this process of being able to seize your assets, and there was words about it, and then it was, a few signatures and some other signatures, and now it's officially going into law, which we'll go through as well. We have news regarding the CBO, how they're streamlining operations regarding digital assets and derivatives business managers to go through as well, related to the crypto space. We have news regarding Arthur Hayes, and how he foresees a major crypto market boost, coming essentially towards the crypto cycle, which we'll go through as well. We have news regarding China and their CBDC, and particularly one of the members that designed the Chinese CBDC is now being looked into by the Chinese authorities for some major concerns. The same member that was one of the members that created the Chinese CBDC is now being looked into by the Chinese authorities for misusing something. That's never a good thing to hear, especially from a man that created CBDCs. We also have news regarding Ohio, which we didn't get to go through yesterday, regarding crypto bills. We also have news from the Maldives and regarding how they're going against the US dollar. We have news regarding Sam Altman, Microsoft, Nevada, and so many other AI projects to go through on tonight's live show as well. So quite a well-packed live show to go through tonight. A lot of things to cover on tonight's live show. Abel, let's go. Olafin, good to see you as well. How you doing? Semper, good to see you as well. How you doing? Troy, good to see you as well. How you doing? Miles, have you got your backdrop yet from eBay, or are we going to keep this background? We're going to keep this background for the time being. We're going to keep this background for the time being. No, I'm getting some other things. Good evening, Miles. I like the beard. Thank you. What's your thoughts on the newly listed Crow with a knife meme coin on Kronos? To stay away from it. If it's a meme coin, it's high-risk asset. Morning, Miles of CMF. I hope you managed to get some sleep, Miles. Yes, I was able to get some sleep. Me, Shelly, and JP were on a Spaces last night. It was an interesting Spaces last night that we were on. A lot of people were shouting on the X Spaces that I did last night, but it was good. We met some interesting people in live Spaces. Some followed me, I followed them, and it was great. And in general, the X Spaces was great, and I was on it until 4:30 a.m. UK time. But yes, I definitely got some sleep afterwards, and then a 10 a.m. meeting I had. Yep, good to see you, Shelly. How you doing? What's up, Miles? What's up, CMF? Kerry, good to see you. How you doing? Happy Pisces, good to see you. How you doing? Troy, there we go. Troy, good to see you. How you doing? Miles, Kodak Black is gonna return to the live. Okay, let's go. I thought that Spaces earlier was going to be something you'd be interested in, but they went off on Tarjan. Sorry about that. No problem. Yeah, no, Shelly, I do. Shelly, thank you so much for sending me that Spaces to join, the one that I joined today. Shelly, thank you so much for telling me to, for messaging me to join these Spaces that, go actively on. Yeah, but they did go off target. You are correct. But I do still appreciate that you making me aware of the X Spaces that are happening. Thank you for that. Strange, I was not able to comment on the live. As I said, I have no privileges. Can now, obviously, let's go Pure. Evening, Pure, good to see you. How are you doing? Miles, you didn't say it to me. Billo, about Spaces. And Billo was on the space. Oh, okay, I forgot. Yeah, Billo. When is the next live Spaces? Well, I have a live Spaces coming up. So Larry has booked me in for live Spaces on May 7th, 5:30 p.m. But in general, I'll keep on joining these live Spaces, and I'll definitely put inside a Telegram group. The one I joined last night was so random. After the live show finished, I just saw the X Spaces from Larry. So I just quickly jumped on to see what was going on, and then I got wrapped into the conversations, which was, great conversations. And it went on until 4:30 a.m. for me. Not sure about that comments, although your comments are coming through, Joe. I can see your comments. Kim, good to see you as well. How you doing? But May 5th, I'm booked in for. May 7th. I'll put inside a Telegram group. Hello, Miles of CMF. Coin, good to see you as well. How you doing? You didn't inform me about the Spaces. I was not there. Yep, sorry about that, Bill. It was a very random one, the way I joined that Spaces. Now, to go through all the news we have to go through on tonight's live show, there's so much to cover, and we're going to go through all of them. So, welcome to the CMF Live Show. If you are new to this live show, it's called the CMF Live Show. We talk about what's happening around the world in the blockchain space regarding cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, and politics, because politics plays into every single aspect. Now, on this live show, we also do Q&As, which means if you have a question, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. You can also communicate with members inside the comment section as well. As always, we are live on YouTube and X at the same time right now. That's why the comment section is mixed with YouTube and X, which means you can communicate with both platforms through one platform. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So if you're new, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're regular, let's go CMF. Thank you so much to everybody that retweeted this live show right at the beginning of the live show on X. Thanks so much to everybody that's tapping on X and tapping on the screen on YouTube. So, live show has started now. I mean, we have so much news to to cover on today's live show. So, we're going to start off with the opinions on the Ethereum case. Before we do that, let me just do this. Could you tell us how do we log in? Is it just plain spaces, or is it Larry Spaces? No, it's just plain spaces. I'll share the link every time I go on Spaces regarding X Spaces. I'll share the link inside Telegram group. But it's just plain spaces. No, there's no such thing as Larry Spaces. It's just Larry is somebody I know that does these spaces. Good person as well, Larry. Miles, many influencers saying a black swan is needed to happen for the new financial system, and then boom, XRP high price. I mean, it's an ideology, but it's not a confirmed ideology. I mean, it could be possibility, one outcomes. Can you please post on CMF every time you join spaces? Yes, come on, I'll definitely post on CMF every time I join spaces. If a black swan and a crash happens, you can't see your portfolio and exchanges, right? Because there is no internet. Correct. No problem, bro. Nighttime spaces, we're gonna cook. Let's go, pillow. If a black swan event does happen, then obviously you won't be able to see your crypto assets if they're on exchanges and so on. That's why you want to keep your crypto assets on a wallet, on a cold storage wallet, preferably, when there is no internet. Correct. Good evening. How you doing, Manny? Good to see you as well. Manny, thanks so much for retweeting the live show as well. Your notification. Anyone else, when they have a tough day, that you have Miles tonight and it feels better? Let's go, Piers, or just me? When you're having a tough day, at the end of the day, at least you got the CMF live show. Let's go. Not sure if Miles could see my comments regarding Offer Hayes. Joe, I can see your comments, but what was your comment regarding Offer Hayes? Just repeat your comment again, Joe. So if you don't see in your exchange your prices, the crash won't gonna hurt us because also XRP will be after the crash very high. Well, that's what a lot of people are essentially assuming, but it isn't any sort of confirmed news regarding a black swan. And a black swan is one way to get everybody implemented a new system. I mean, pandemics are a good way to get everybody implemented a new system as well. I mean, the last pandemic made everybody move over from cash to Apple Pay and Google Pay, Samsung Pay. So there's a possibility of it. Miles is very active. Miles is very addictive. Let's go, funky brother. So first news to go from tonight's live show is from many perspectives on the Ethereum case. As we know, the SEC has sent a Wells notice to MetaMask, and essentially the company behind MetaMask consensus. And essentially the SEC has this thing going where they're going after Ethereum in some sort of a way. I'm going to cover that on the beginning of part of this live show. Did Offer Hayes talked up the pedal project in his speech in Dubai? I don't know if he did talk about the pedal speech in Dubai. Republic First Bank officially collapses and seized by regulators. A bank just collapsed right now and seized by regulators. The news just came through. If there is a black swan, everyone will flock to crypto as a safeguard. As a safeguard, correct. But it's a black swan event is going to happen. The most logical is that XRP has to be high to solve the financial system. Yes, in some sort of way, yes. I believe CEO of ArchX said he sees 50 T on X when I don't know. Okay, I'm doing this every night, and the missus is very annoyed with me. Lol. Let's go, funky brother. Okay, let me go through the first part of the news. Ripple's top lawyer. So we're covering the perspectives of what everybody thinks about the Ethereum situation right now. Now, the first one I'm going to go through is from Ripple's lawyer, who's given a perspective on the Ethereum situation. Ripple's top lawyer reacts to Consuel's lawsuit against the SEC. Stuart Attorney, chief legal officer at Ripple, recently took to X social media platform to react to Consuel's recent lawsuit against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. He said that his take from 2022 aged well. A limitless jurisdiction As reported by You Today, the Ethereum backer rallied against the regulator's efforts to expand its jurisdictions by classifying the leading altcoin as a security. Consensus argues that the SEC is hurting developers and market participations while hindering innovation with its hostile approach to cryptocurrencies. Back in May 2022, Alternate Ripple's lawyer said labeling every token besides Bitcoin as a security is a combination of bad law and a bad policy, all in the name of the SEC's political land grab over the asset class. He added that the regulator's jurisdictions was not limitless. From friends to foes, on April 10th, the SEC staff sent a Wells notice to Congress signaling its intentions to bring an enforcement action against the company. The regulator also informed Congress that the popular MetaMask wallet was violating the securities laws by acting as an unregistered broker-deal. Congress has hired attorneys from Witchwell to fight against the regulators, following Coinbase's essentially footsteps. The Manhattan-based firm is generally known as one of the best litigators in the world, meaning that Congress certainly did not cheap out. So Congress has hired the best lawyers who perfectly understand what is essentially blockchain technology. And it's the same lawyers that Coinbase is using against the SEC as well. And by not chipping out, good thing. Notably, Congress boss Joseph Lubin said that they were big friends and fans of the SEC. I think they really understand this space well. We believe they get it. They consider the Ethereum network token and the issuance mechanism to be decentralized, and therefore no transactions involving those particular assets are considered to be transactions of securities. They're trying to play the nice card. Now, that was from Ripple's perspective of a Ripple lawyer, talking about how this is still absurd. But also what Ethereum said a long time ago didn't really age well. Now we have a perspective from Coinbase's side regarding the Ethereum scene. Executives from Coinbase and Uniswap laud Ethereum giant Consensus for challenging the SEC. Coinbase and Uniswap CEOs, among others, are standing with Consensus as it fights to have SEC recognize Ethereum as not a security. After Thursday's primitive strike by the Ethereum giant against the SEC, crypto industry heavyweights are rallying behind Consensus. The curators of the MetaMask cryptocurrency wallet Consensus have taken legal action against the SEC, claiming that the agency is attempting to seize control over the future of cryptocurrencies and is going too far in its efforts to regulate Ethereum. Consensus is one of 20 private companies that have invested into Decrypt. The SEC has not publicly announced its intentions to regulate Ethereum as a security, despite the company's claims to the contrary. Yesterday, the CEO and founder of Uniswap took to Twitter to express gratitude to the founder of Consensus and the rest of the team for standing up and protecting our industry. Enough with the intrigue and threats regarding the SEC. Binance, Kraken, Uniswap, and Coinbase are just a few of the crypto industry heavy hitters that the SEC has sued on multiple occasions, thus prolonging their turmoil's relationships with the sector. Thus, the key players in the field resort to crypto Twitter to convoy their elation at this turn of events. This month, the decentralized exchange Uniswap was served with a Wells notice by the SEC, which accused it of violating securities laws. When the SEC intends to take enforcement action, such as suing, it will send a letter to the person or a company in question known as a Wells notice. After an extensive investigation into Ethereum, the network switched to proof of stake following the merger, and the MetaMask crypto wallet in particular, Consensus disclosed in its own lawsuit that it had also obtained a Wells notice from the SEC. To counter the SEC's assertions, Consensus has filed a primitive lawsuit in the hopes of having the court rule that Ethereum is not a security. Not only Coinbase, but other industry players have also tried this strategy recently. There are ongoing legal disputes between San Francisco Crypto Exchange and the SEC over the promised sale of unregistered securities. Paul, chief legal officer at Coinbase, took to Twitter after Consensus' announcement to share his thoughts. Yeah, a lot of people are against the SEC. I mean, Coinbase is against the SEC, and they're battling them out right now. MetaMask, well, the company behind MetaMask is battling out the SEC right now recently. Kraken is battling the SEC. Believe it or not, Binance is still in the picture and still battling out the SEC as well. And obviously, we have the major case, which is David versus Goliath, essentially Ripple versus SEC, which is the longest case going on right now, and probably SEC's history regarding crypto projects. So we do have that one going on, and we also have the Luna case going on the sidelines. But that's if they catch Do Kwon. By the looks of it, they still haven't been very successful. But yeah, there's many perspectives, from Ripple's lawyer sides, from Coinbase's side. Coinbase is very happy. They're jumping up and down. The executives on Coinbase, they're ecstatic that, essentially Congress has taken this action to go against the SEC no matter what, essentially. But they're all hiring the same lawyer, interesting enough. They're all hiring the same lawyers from the same law firm who understand what blockchain technology is, so which is their best bet. But they're also all using the same strategy. Now, why is that good and why is that bad? Coinbase's lawyers, as I said, are the same lawyers that essentially, Congress is using. And they're using the exact same strategy pretty much. Now, if the judge rules that Coinbase is in the wrong and the SEC is in the right, then that will make Consue's case very difficult because there's a higher chance of the SEC winning against Consue's because they won against Coinbase because they're both using the same law firm and the same method, technically. Which, that's the bad side. The good side is if one of them wins, the other one's more likely to win as well. Now, before we go to the next news, let's go in the comment section. Let's see if anybody's asked any questions before we go through. I just don't see a crash. I believe they are out. Nowhere will leave everyone behind and fire up. So the crash not gonna hurt us. No, it won't hurt us now. So let's say XRP is at. We were here. So let's say XRP is at €5 and buy the Black Swan, and crash is going to happen to 50 cents. But because the Black Swan, we won't see all the price exchanges because of no internet. Yes, that's true. Well, if there is no internet, then you won't be able to have access to any sort of crypto exchange. Then yes, that's true. Or let me say it this way. When the crash and Black Swan does happen, are you able to buy more and more XRP miles? The answer is no, right? Because of no internet. Correct. Why is everyone talking about Black Swan event? Am I missing something? No, it's just Bilal talking about Black Swan events. Is because I'm guessing he's in some X Spaces or some Twitters on X in general. A lot of people talking about Black Swan probably on X, and that's why Bilal's asking these questions. How can the SEC declare Ethereum as a security when Hong Kong has approved ETFs, Ethereum ETFs? Well, Ethereum can declare whatever they want as a security or not a security. It's different jurisdictions. Different jurisdictions could have different rules. Now, I don't personally think the SEC is going to be declaring Ethereum as a security. I don't think they're ever going to be declaring it as a security in any sort of a way. I just don't see that happening. Especially with JP Morgan, building on Ethereum. JP Morgan's are too much of a big player for the SEC to essentially mess about with. For Gary Gensler to mess about with. Also, we do have, BlackRock, one of the biggest players ever, who's also, messing around on the blockchain spaces or mostly on Ethereum's case. So I don't think, Gary Gensler will have the kahunas to go after Ethereum and make it into a security. They can, however, stifle its growth. Stifling its growth, they can do. But actually declaring it as a security, I don't think he has the kahunas for that in any sort of a way. And if, Hong Kong doesn't declare it as security and over here it does, then they can have different opinions. Because Hong Kong's regulators, the SFC are the ones regulated, and then we have the SEC inside the United States. They're two different regulators with two different opinions on how they see the market, essentially. And also because Hong Kong's chairman of their SFC, it's not Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler is a manipulative twat, essentially. Sorry for saying twat, but he is. He's a manipulative twat. And the Hong Kong's chairman is not the same person. He sees cryptocurrencies as what they are. He sees blockchain technology as what it is. Gary Gensler is a moron. He's a paid-off moron, in simple terms. The SEC is not going around giving the crypto world and manipulating the financial world. He's not just going to go around. Sorry about that. This is not just going to go around giving the crypto world and manipulating the financial world. Stephen Nafar is saying it's all smokes and mirrors, basically that it's all planned with Ethereum. It is. As I said, everything is according to the movement inside the financial space. BlackRock are trying to file a spot ETF with Ethereum. That's true, yes. This is a scaremongering to get us out of Ethereum. Yes, also true. Can we still access Tangent and balance if Black Swan event? The app should not work. No, the app won't work, but because the app won't work. However, your crypto assets will still be on Tangent. The app won't work, but your crypto assets will still be on Tangent's card. Not on Tangent's card, on the blockchain, but your keys are on Tangent's card. By Black Swan event, will XRP's price go very much down? Well, there's no internet access. It wouldn't go much down. Bitcoin's price will get affected because if there's no internet, then, well, this is the thing. Is it going to be no internet or no electricity? We'll see. The US rules are outdated and not in keeping with digital age we all entering. True, very, very true. Now, also to go through the next part of the live show as well, we're on the next news to go through. So we went through the two Ethereum, essentially, opinions regarding what's going to happen to Ethereum and what's not going to happen to Ethereum from executives from Coinbase, and then Ripple's lawyers also weighed in their opinions on Ethereum. Now, the next part I used to go through is regarding Ripple's CTO, because there's still a lot of confusion regarding the stablecoin and XRP. So Ripple's CTO decided to, chime in and give his opinion. Ripple's CTO explains how Ripple plans to use XRP alongside underway stablecoin. Ripple recently shocked the crypto world with the announcement of a stablecoin to be launched on the XRP ledger and Ethereum blockchain. Ripple plans to launch a stablecoin later in 2024, backed by a combination of US dollar deposits, short-term treasury bonds, and other highly liquid assets. The stablecoin aims to enhance the stability and efficiency of transactions within the Ripple ecosystem. However, some in the community are worried that this might negatively affect XRP. In March, some community members questioned the absence of USDC, a popular stablecoin on the XRP ledger, but many pointed out that Ripple could use XRP in place of a stablecoin because of the speed of its transactions. This announcement sparked inquiries within the XRP community concerning the future role of XRP. David Schwartz, Ripple's Chief Technology Officer, CTO, promptly addressed these concerns, emphasizing XRP's continued importance within the company's payment network. The importance of XRP. David Schwartz dispelled speculation suggesting the stablecoin renders XRP obsolete. He clarified that both digital assets have distinct functionalities within the Ripple ecosystem. The stablecoin provides a mechanism for transactions requiring a price-stable asset, while XRP remains the preferred choice for facing cross-border payments due to its advantages. As I said previously, XRP will still have its own role, and the stablecoin will have its own role. Now, obviously, they're going to have some similarities on how they can be used, but they're also going to be different on how they can be used as well. One key advantage of XRP lies in its transaction speed and cost effectiveness. XRP transactions are typically settled within seconds and require minimal fees, making them ideal for high-volume, fast-paced international payments. Additionally, XRP a pre-mined supply, eliminating the market fluctuations associated with mined cryptocurrencies. The stablecoin, on the other hand, offers a solution for transactions where price stability is paramount. Businesses and individuals may prefer the stablecoin of the XRP ledger for specific use cases where mitigating price volatility is crucial. By introducing the stablecoin, Ripple demonstrates its commitment to offering a comprehensive suite of financial instruments catering to diverse user needs. As David Schwartz pointed out, each token on the platform will be used where it works best to provide the best user case. The company prioritizes providing a flexible and efficient payment network. This strategic expansion also signifies Ripple's dedication to continuous innovation within the cross-border payments landscape. The introduction of a stablecoin broadens the company's reach, potentially attracting new users who require price-stable transactions. However, XRP remains a cornerstone of the Ripple network, facilitating fast and cost-effective international payments. Many prominent figures have given reasons why Ripple will not abandon XRP, and the stablecoin initiative will open up XRP ledger to more users, potentially increasing XRP's adoption, which is true. So that's his perspective, David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple Labs, which, I mean, if you're going to take somebody's perspective on anything, you might want to be taking it from the man that's a part of the XRP ledger, which is David Schwartz. So for anybody still that was, a bit concerned, XRP, Ripple stablecoin, they have similarities, but also different in many aspects. And don't worry, XRP is not going anywhere, and that stablecoin is actually going to grow adoption, as I said previously as well. But, these words are now coming out David Schwartz, which adds that credibility to it as well. Now, just to go through the comment section before we go to the next news, there's so much news to cover on tonight's live show, by the way. So much news. But we're going to make it through. Okay, here we go. The US is outdated. Yes, true, Pierce, facts. When do you feel the black swan will happen? When do I feel like a black swan will happen? A black swan type of event is not planned. It's something that most people won't see coming on that specific timeline. Um, but we can see something maybe prepping up for a black swan event. We'll see. The closer we get to CBDCs, if there's ever going to be a black swan event, the closer we get to CBDCs, which we're not that far off either, to be fair. But when the banks collapse and the markets and black swan won't affect crypto if there is no internet, or will it affect it? But we won't have the access to the price until it ends. Yes, we won't have access to the price until it ends. Correct. Now, some cryptocurrencies can operate without the use of the internet. They can operate on radio frequency, for example. Some cryptocurrencies can. Now, one particular type of cryptocurrency that can, is designed to operate with no internet is offline CBDCs. Offline CBDCs are designed to work with no internet. So if we do go through a black swan type of event where we don't have internet access, which has been a topic on the news, but it was last year and it never happened. But they did try to warn everybody that there's a possibility of somewhere down the line happening. But something that was designed to, not be used with internet is an offline CBDC. Which means if we do go for a black swan event in some sort of a way, it's the idea of introduce a problem and then introduce a solution. So if they create the problem of a black swan, and then the solution would be offline CBDCs to save the day. Because if we go for a black swan, no internet, which means nobody can access their bank accounts. And since because of COVID, the data shows that everybody was using cash before COVID, and then after COVID made everybody go to online banking or mobile banking, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, so on. Everybody's very reliant on online banking, mobile banking because of COVID now. So there's many reasons why COVID happened. So which means that if we do go for a black swan event, then most people won't have access to their money because most people's money's on the banks because they use Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. So then the solution would be offline CBDCs to come and save the day because they're designed to not work without the use of internet. They were designed for rural areas where there is no internet, essentially. But also Bitcoin can work on radio frequency as well. XRP has radio frequency capabilities as well. There was a testing from a company that's a geopolitical company last year that was doing testings on it. A black swan event will be the best for us because after it, highly possible for price to fall 5 days. True. Does the SEC have a meeting on Monday, April 29th? I heard, yes, there is something going on April 29th where there's a speculation going around that it could be a possibility of a settlement, but it's only speculation, not confirmed in any sort of a way at all. But when we get close to 29th of April, we'll get a better picture of it. Who would you say is the main competitor to XLM? So little news out there, and when I research, ridiculous answers like Ripple. Who's the main competitor to XLM? The main competitor to it's a difficult one because we can't say, XRP can be a main competitor to it, XRP can be a main competitor to it, but they also have different use cases. ACH could be a main competitor to it, regarding ACH and XLM, they could be competitors together. They have, both great partnerships, money transfer licensings, they work inside that field of finance, both of them, ACH and XLM. XDC is also a competitor as well, so they're also at that financial space. Or would it be stablecoin or a CBDC? Because XLM is geared towards retail. Yeah, XLM is geared towards retail. That is very true. But then Ripple can also be geared towards Ripple can also be geared towards the retail section because it is in some sort of way as well. What up, the Miles family? Ray, good to see you. How you doing? But I would say, look, they're all inside that financial category. The financial category essentially is XRP, XLM, XDC, ACH, LAT. Pretty much it. The ones that have some sort of partnerships and licensings. What up, though, Miles and family? Let's go, Ray. What up, Miles? Good to see you again. Parker, how you doing? How you been? So, if we don't have access to buy more during the black swan, people can't say they will take profits and after the case and buy more after the crash. True. if you got a set orders in those set a given price, then your orders would still be filled, wouldn't they? No. If you have set orders, if you have so what Shelly's talking about is regarding, let's say you fill that orders on, for example, Binance Exchange. For example, you fill that some orders, and once it reaches that price point, it automatically purchases the cryptocurrencies in simplest terms. Now, if you do go for a black swan event and the internet cuts out, then no, your orders won't be fulfilled in any sort of a way, and they'll actually be cut out as well. They'll disappear off the balance sheets, because obviously those exchanges need internet, and then when there is no internet, they won't have access to price updates, and so many other things won't be connected. The servers will have difficulties because there's no internet, so the operating system won't be able to work at all. So no orders will be fulfilled at all, none. Are CBDCs built on XRP Ledger? Some, yes. The ones that we know about, and the ones that we don't know about are all private documentations we cannot see. Is it possible the banks, but just to put in perspective, Ripple and XRP, or XRP Ledger, is the only one that's designed a CBDC platform. There's about 24,000 crypto projects out there. The only one focused on CBDCs out of 24,000 crypto projects pretty much is Ripple. And the only one that is inside that field of banks and institutions is Ripple. And the only one that has a CBDC platform is Ripple. So there is no competition when it comes to CBDCs. If we talk about CBDCs and who is the main person inside CBDCs, and it's Ripple. They're the only ones with a CBDC platform. Other than Ripple, there's literally no competitors inside the CBDC space. If we talk about AI, there's many competitors. Gaming, many competitors. Metaverse, many competitors. Data, many competitors. But if we just talk about CBDCs, there's no competitor. They're the only ones with CBDC platform that has been used, tested, and implemented in some countries. One of them being Paolo. Is it possible that banks collapse without there being a black swan event with no internet? Yes, banks can collapse. It doesn't have to be no internet for the bank to collapse. The bank can collapse if it's having financial difficulties, essentially. A bank can collapse. Miles, hello. How are you doing today? How are your parents? How's your business doing? My parents are doing very well. Thanks so much for asking, Scott. My business is doing very well as well. It was a busy day today. How has it been for you, Scott? My day went well. Let's go, Scott. I can't see them launching a CBDC before the next election. They want to blame it on the new president, which is a fair point. Hey, Miles, Crypto Radish, good to see you as well. Crypto Radish, how you doing? Sorry, I got your... Hi, Crypto Radish, on this live show, typically, I read everybody's comments one by one, so it took a while to get your comment as well. Good to see you, Crypto Radish. How you doing? It was amazing as well on your SpaceX last night. Miles, I'm investing in you. I want to remind you of it. Let's go, Scott. So, Miles, shall I get my 100,000 out of my accounts? Thank you, brother. Completely up to you. Tell me how I can transfer Bitcoin using radio frequencies. Sounds interesting. It's a bit complicated. If you inside a Telegram group, I could send you some links on regarding reading about it. Miles, Black Swan, if this happens in 2024, 2025, you think and why? If it happens, do I think it's going to happen in 2024 and 2025? It's an outcome. It's not the outcome, is what I would say. Now, the timeline I would have to give it still is 2024, 2027, but it's not the outcome in any sort of a way. It's an outcome to consider. Opinions on Velo. It's an alright project. Miles, imagine that the Black Swan does happens, and after we come back live, and our cryptos are all zero. What do? We cannot sue the exchanges. Nope, you cannot sue the exchanges because it's completely your choice to essentially be going for those assets. If a Black Swan event does happen, and you come back and it's just, your cryptos went incredibly to zero, all of it after a Black Swan event, then no, you can't sue the exchanges. I just mean like Black Swan crash. Sorry, not necessarily having no internet. Oh, Black Swan crash is okay. It'll be fulfilled. Everyone talking now about a Black Swan because of me. Yep. Bill was the first one that asked the question about Black Swan, and everyone wants to know about Black Swans. Right after Bill's question. Crypto J, good evening, CMF and Mouse. Good to see you as well. How you doing, Crypto J? Thanks, Billo. Let's go. But they won't let the banks collapse without making a Black Swan event of it. 2 collapse in 1 for them. Well, no. Actually, regarding what Billo just said, but they won't let the banks collapse without making a Black Swan event. They don't have to make a Black Swan event to make a bank collapse. A bank can collapse if it's having difficulties regarding keeping afloat, so they can go bankrupt, essentially. Chapter 11 or Chapter 15, depends on the international bank. Now, there's the other aspect of as well. For example, custodian bank. Custodian bank inside the United States is having difficulties getting access. Recently, they got rejected by the courts of having access to the Fed's master program, for example. So, custodian bank has no access to the Fed's master report. Now, why is this bad? Well, because custodian bank, because they don't have access to the Fed's master revision, for example, reports, that means they're going to have difficulty communicating with other banks inside the United States. So there is one particular bank right now being stifled by the Feds and the judge who said, well, the Feds don't have to, give this to you. So there is one bank right now being stifled by many different situations. One, the Fed, and second, no bank wants to work with them now because they don't have access to the Fed's master report. So custodian bank is right now having difficulties. It doesn't have to be a black swan event for banks to have difficulties. There could be multiple reasons why banks could have difficulties. One of them being very unique was this custodian bank right now. Is Judge Netburn pro-crypto? Yes, pro-crypto. Without information alone that Ripple is the key platform for CBDCs, amazes me how people still call XRP a weak coin. Facts. Good evening, Miles and CMF. Denise, good to see you as well. How you doing? But facts, what Happy Pisces said. Black Swan is just a speculation. XRP going sky high because of a speculation. Yep. I don't think, as I said, it's just speculation. I don't think it will be a black swan. Every country will enter CBDCs on different time. Poor countries first and the rest to follow. Yeah. Well, you do say that, but China's not really a poor country and they were the first one to enter CBDCs. I don't think it's based on who's poor and who goes first in the CBDCs. China's quite a wealthy country. It was the first one into CBDCs. And there's a lot of countries, about 98% of the world, according to the International Monetary Fund, about 98% of the world right now is in CBDCs, 98% of the world, or is either in testing CBDCs, researching CBDCs, or implementation on testing CBDCs and doing payments, essentially, in CBDCs, according to the International Monetary Fund. This was recent reports. And it's got nothing to do with if it's a poor country or not, because China's a wealthy country and it was the first one inside of CBDCs. But I get what you mean regarding, no black swan. Everybody just enters CBDCs pretty much at their own time, let's say, rather than poor country. But for the banks to collapse, they want to introduce the new financial system right after. Can that without a black swan event? But for the banks to collapse, they want to introduce new financial. They don't want the banks to collapse. There's an ideology going around where they want banks to collapse. They don't want banks to collapse. There's many banks that have partnerships with blockchain platforms. Everybody keeps on forgetting about that. Look, as I said previously, if a bank is partnered with another blockchain firm, then they're going to survive the blockchain era. Going into blockchain, if a particular bank is partnered with a blockchain firm, a strong blockchain firm, legitimate blockchain firm, then they're going to survive whatever happens inside the blockchain era. Now, there are also brother banks and sister banks, which essentially means that a brother bank has a bunch of sister banks, which is the smaller branches with a different name. Now, if the brother bank also has a blockchain partner, in terms of business, will we use brother bank or sister bank, then the sister banks will also have access to that blockchain partner. Now, if there is a bank that is not working with any blockchain firm, then that bank has a higher chance of not surviving the blockchain era. But a lot of banks will survive. HSBC Bank will survive the blockchain era. Standard Chartered Bank will survive. Standard Chartered Bank has essentially got their own crypto platform. Zodia essentially is their own crypto platform, which is a part of Standard Chartered Bank, and they're operating in Dubai. Now, HSBC Bank also is operating inside of Hong Kong markets and going into lending and borrowing, and also being partnered with Metico. Now, there are multiple banks. Santander Bank has that partnership relationship with Ripple Labs. Lloyds Bank has that relationship with Ripple Labs. Now, Barclays also has that blockchain space era going for a lot of banks are inside the blockchain space. But the ones that don't join the blockchain space are the ones that have a higher chance of going bankrupt inside of a blockchain era. How was your day, Miles? How's your day been, Miles? Great. Lena, good to see you. How you doing? Can they settle the price of XRP without black swan? Can they settle the price of XRP without a black swan? Yes, they don't need to have a black swan to do that. I know you say 2024, 2027, but do you feel like XRP at $100 next year? Possibility. Well, it all depends on adoption. In your opinion, in my opinion, yeah, it all depends on adoption. How much adoption it gets, essentially. Even if only 1/3 of the world's countries implement CBDCs, it's tremendous utility strength for XRP. Yes, I agree. Facts, what Happy Pisces said inside the comment section. Facts. Australia's pilot finished last September. Good point regarding what Shelley said. Australia's pilot testing finished last September. As far as I'm aware, Australia is now doing a digital sandbox, the same as the UK. The UK is doing a sandbox, and Australia's doing sandbox as well. Japan's doing sandbox. Recently, it was announced that multiple African countries are also doing sandboxes as well. Saudi Arabia is doing a sandbox. Hong Kong's done a sandbox as well, where essentially they test out different. Even India actually was recently, they announced they're doing a sandbox where they test out multiple blockchains inside of this digital sandbox before they implement it for real world, use, or within their own country. Essentially, they test out different blockchains for different use cases. So one for data, one for AI, one for this, one for that, and so on. But yeah, fair point regarding that, Shelley. Billo, please stop talking about Black Swan and CBDCs. Is depressing. So Funky brother said. We don't have the issue of small regional banks in Canada. We basically have 5. That's it across. Okay. Agreed. China is not poor, but has a total control over their peoples. Yes, that's also very true as well. I just want the bull run to start and us all start making money, serious money. Let's go, Funky brother. The entire country of Canada. So if I was in the US and I was in a small regional bank, I would take my money out of a small US regional bank and transfer it on an open account in one of the big boys. No financial advice. I am just recalling my dream I had last night about banks. Okay, Happy Pisces had a dream about banks regarding collapsing, I'm guessing, which is a high chance. I mean, look, regarding, as I said, banks that don't have blockchain partnerships or essentially have a higher chance of going, collapsing. So yeah, if you are banking, if you do have, a bank account, which most people, the majority of the people in this world do have, bank accounts essentially. In Western countries, I would have to say definitely, Middle Eastern as well, depending on where you are around the world, but definitely, if you are still banking, keep your, be with a bank that's well established, a major bank. Don't go to these unknown banks, these online internet banks and so on, because they might go bust going into a blockchain space era. So you might want to, yeah, of course, be with a bank like HSBC, for example, or Lloyd's, what a well established bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and so on. Why will, so I agree with Happy Pisces, and below is the next one inside the comment section. By the way, if you do have questions, put it down in the comment section. I always read everybody's comments one by one. Why will they, and now I'm on Billow's comment, why will they settle the price without Black Swan and introduce the new financial system? Well, because they can shift over into a new financial system with distracting people in a different way. A Black Swan is one distraction, but there's multiple distractions they can create to get everybody shifted into a new financial system. Brother, is Uphold a good place to buy XDC? Sure, definitely. Uphold's a good place. And I know for sure 3 of the big Canadian banks are very in touch with crypto. Let's go. Banks gonna collapse. They are printing and printing until it falls. Not all banks, some. Not all. HSBC won't collapse. It's inside the blockchain space. And so many other banks as well. As I said, Standard Chartered Bank, HSBC, Lloyds, Santander, they're all going to survive. And JP Morgan is going to survive. I mean, they're using blockchain technology. JP Morgan is doing 1 billion in transactions regarding the corporate sector on their own Onyx coin. Miles, what do you think about mobile and safe? Scott, no opinions on those 2. Send it to me. I'll take a look at them. And Scott, I forgot to reply to your direct message. After the live show, I'll definitely reply to your direct message. Apologies about that, Scott. Miles, when is the bull run going to start? It looks like 1 step forward and 2 backwards. Well, we haven't went backwards at all. The market's down 1 to 2%. It's not drastic in any sort of way. The stock market goes down 5% and it becomes, mayhem inside the stock. And as I said, I have friends and acquaintances in the London Stock Exchange. When the market goes down by 2 to 3% or 5%, the alarms go off and there's red flags everywhere. The crypto space 1 to 2% to 5% is absolutely a joke. We go down 40% and then next month we're up 50%. It's not really a big issue inside the crypto space. So don't worry about 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. The market is relatively only 1 to 2% downwards and quite stable. Bitcoin is still holding its valuation where it's sitting right now. even though it might be down, but it's not ridiculously down. It's only 1 to 2%, which is a joke for the crypto space. As I said, we go down 40% sometimes. So don't worry. And the only reason, as I said, the market is staying stable is because these institutions that are going for the ETFs are buying and holding, which is stabilizing the market up to certain price points. If there are banks, if there are banks who collapse, will it affect crypto in a bad way, and why? If there are banks that collapse, will it affect crypto in a bad way, and why? Yes and no. Okay, if a bank collapses, will it affect crypto? Yes and no. Okay, why I say yes, it might affect it. If it's a crypto bank, if it's a bank that's related to crypto, if a particular bank that is related to crypto, for example, we had the Silicon Valley Bank situation where it was a collapse and it were, had some relationships with crypto, and it did affect the crypto markets at that time. So if there is a bank that has some ties with crypto, and the SEC goes after them and personally takes them down. For example, Custonia Bank. Custonia Bank has ties with crypto. And Custonia Bank right now is having difficulties inside the United States getting access to the Fed, essentially the Fed program, which means they can't have access to work with other banks inside the United States. So Custonia Bank has ties to crypto, and if it does go downwards, then it's going to be major news. And then Custonia Bank ties to crypto, didn't really work out. SEC, Fed problem, this that, and then the panic sellers will come into the markets, and the whales will manipulate the hell out of the markets. So, recording. I just saw Shelly's comment in the small screen here. I have two screens in front of me with a comment section. One on my screen here and then one small screen here. So I can see the earlier comment, the first comments here, and then the later comments on my screen here. I just saw Shelly's comment. But yeah, Custodia Bank has a relationship with crypto, so it could go sideways. And if it goes sideways, then it's going to have implications on the crypto space. Now, if there is a bank that has no ties to crypto, then no, it won't affect the crypto space. It's actually positive for the crypto space because crypto is then seen as a hedge against bank failures. So as we say, yes or no. Now, relations. Relations. Susie's question next is National Bank in Canada. Thoughts? Anyone? Happy Pisces will be your best chance. She's inside the banking world as well, and she's Canadian. But I don't think there's any issues with National Bank Canada. Does NatWest have any partnerships? My mum is with them. I might need to warn her low. Does NatWest have any partnerships? Yes. If I'm not mistaken, they have ties through... Yeah, they have the partnerships, yes. I want to sue Gary Gensler for holding us back. You want to sue Gary Gensler for holding us back? Let's go. Do you think before we see heavy gains in XRP, they have to introduce a new financial system? No, not really. We could see that financial system coming in, essentially, because the cross-border payments will help either way. I purchased my XDC on Uphold. I love the Uphold. Obviously, the CBDCs will help a lot more. I purchased my XDC on Uphold. I love the Uphold system. It is much easier for me than most platforms. Let's go, Scott. Hi, Miles, CMF. Okay, good to see you. How you doing? No problem, Miles. Whenever time permits, because you always share solid opinions. Let's go, Scott. Thank you so much for that. I think Billow is going to be responsible for the creation of the Black Swan. I can't find it. Miles, what crypto is X likely to use? What crypto is X likely to use? Okay, my perspective was it's going to be three scenarios. Actually, my perspective was three scenarios, but then it became one. So apparently, X doesn't have a crypto license. Okay, the licensings that X has got so far are all for fiat, technically. Okay, all the payment licenses X has got so far are all for fiat. Everybody could go check them because it's public information, all the licenses they're getting. It keeps on hitting the news. X has this license, that license on. So they're all for fiat, technically. Now, X for fiat right now is using Stripe because X doesn't have licensings. So X uses Stripe, which has a license. So it means X is using a third party. Now, when X gets all of its licensings, it doesn't have to use Stripe anymore because it could, do fiat currencies, fiat transactions, and it don't need Stripe anymore because that's the licensing is for. Now, which brings me to my other question of there's a higher chance of X partnering up with a platform, a payment platform, crypto payment platform, than X turning around and saying we only accept this particular token. Not saying they're not going to just turn around and say we accept Bitcoin only, for example, or XRP or XLM or whatever it is, or Dogecoin. But there's a higher chance of X turning around and saying, we're partnered, for example, with BitPay. Let's just say, for example, BitPay, and we accept 100 plus cryptocurrencies through BitPay now. There's a higher chance of them doing that because right now X is with Stripe because they don't have a license for fiat transactions. And now X has got multiple licensings, but they're all for fiat transactions, technically, not blockchain. Technically, the majority of them are all for fiat, or all of them. So, which means, Stripe will go away, X can do payments on fiat, but they still don't have licenses for blockchain, for cryptocurrencies transactions. Which means they would have to most likely go to somebody like Bitpanda, not Bitpanda, BitPay, for example, that is a crypto platform like Stripe, in similarities of accepting multiple currencies and so on. So there's a higher chance of them accepting multiple currencies through somebody like BitPay than accepting one particular cryptocurrency. But you never know, it's Elon Musk and he does whatever he wants to do. It is Elon Musk. Miles, what crypto? So yeah, that's what I would say. So much for getting through the heap of news today. Lol. Yep. We didn't get through any of the news, but we still have time to go through the news. That's the comment I read that made me laugh. X is going to use XRP, which I'm saying, regarding Elon Musk, he could just turn around and say, I want to use Bitcoin, I want to use Dogecoin, I want to use XRP, or whatever. He can turn around and say that. There are gray areas if he wants to do that. He technically doesn't need a money transfer with a license as long as he keeps it on the balance sheets and hands it over, because it falls under a gray area. But it's obviously better to have the licenses. But also, a lot of states don't offer licensings for crypto transactions, so that's where also falls under a gray area because they don't offer the proper transaction. But yeah, X is going to use XRP, is what Bill was saying. Which best in banks in Canada? I'm going with National C Friendly. Well, as Nessie search, look at Ripple's website. Royal Bank, CIBC are very crypto friendly. Okay. Can everyone stop the questions for now? Let's get through the news. Yes, we have so much news to cover on tonight's live show. I meant, well, it's easy research. Yeah, it's true. Guys, stop talking about black swan. Guys, stop talking about bear markets and black swan bank collapses. Unfortunately, that's not happening. If you didn't buy anything with everyone told you to buy, you missed. And if you come back in 2029, so no, I mean you still have a chance. A lot of people say don't buy now; it's the worst time, and I say yes and no to that as well. Yes, don't buy. Projects like Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're too high priced. There's no point in going for any of those projects. But there's still a lot of projects that haven't moved at all yet, which is essentially, if you want to go for the crypto projects, if you want to go for the crypto market, still there are a lot of projects that haven't moved and too many projects that have moved. XRP hasn't moved yet, so why not? XLM hasn't moved yet, why not? ACH, why not? XDC, why not? XLM, why not? LAT, why not? There's a lot of projects of why not, because they still haven't done their price movements. But projects like Solana, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, way overpriced. Ethereum, too high priced. Bitcoin, too high priced. So basically, we can see 100 plus before the new financial system. Why? Well, there's tokenization for one. I just did a quick research. Apparently, National Bank in Canada is crypto friendly too, as well. Let's go basis for that. So next question. The next news to go through on tonight's live show is this one: BNY Mellon. BNY Mellon enters Bitcoin ETF markets aimed cryptocurrency surge. The United States' oldest and largest custodian bank, BNY Mellon, has officially formalized its entry into the Bitcoin ETF, investing via ETFs. In a recent SEC filing, the company revealed its stakes is essentially in BTC ETFs managed by BlackRock and Grayscale. The approval of the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs by the SEC in January 2024 has redefined how cryptocurrency investments are done in America. The introduction of these ETFs raised a lot of hype during Bitcoin to record a high of $73,737 in March. The participation of BNY Mellon is just another evidence of increasing institutional interest in the domain of cryptocurrencies. In addition, the permission of Bitcoin ETFs in the US has opened a Paradox box in the world's markets. It is worth noting that Hong Kong has joined the line, also greenlighting its Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs, which are set to trade from April 30th, 2024. The increase in global centers of financial services in this case shows a wider spread of acceptance of cryptocurrencies in the standard financial systems. The investment of BNY Mellon in Bitcoin ETFs has become a clearer sign of the changing nature of financial investments, with larger institutions getting into the frame of digital assets as a feasible investment channels. With the dynamics of landscapes shifting, the financial players observe, hoping to see the next steps in the digital finance, essentially revolution. Yes, definitely. There are more institutions day by day coming inside the crypto space. I mean, yesterday we had Franklin Templeton talking about coming inside the crypto space, and we had Morgan Stanley talking about it, Goldman Sachs talking about it, and so many other big players talking about it. And now today we also have BNY Mellon getting prepared to come inside the crypto space, starting with Bitcoin ETFs. And also Hong Kong's big day coming up as well regarding April 30th on when they're launching their Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs. Now, more interesting news coming up as well. Regarding more, but that's also major news. But also another major news. Okay, another major news. EU DeFi regulations set to welcome big banks, challenge crypto natives. Incoming rules for decentralized finance protocols in Europe could raise significant barriers to crypto native projects while encouraging licensed traditional financial institutions to get on board, predicts Marina, executive director of the European Crypto Initiative. During an interview with Cointelegraph, Marina discussed the European Commission's upcoming DeFi report, which is due December 30th, 2024. The report is under the Markets in Crypto Assets (MICA) framework, which will examine the feasibilities of specific regulations for the DeFi ecosystem. We think that this regulation will facilitate those traditional players to come into this crypto space. We know that some banks are already thinking of issuing stablecoins, she said. She also said, in response to the expected impacts of DeFi regulatory frameworks, adding to that. This is what she said, word for word. Whatever we have seen over the years being developed, now it's coming from this institutional point of view, and definitely will be harder for all the crypto native projects to get licensed and be compliant. The EU's report aims to examine how decentralized systems should be regulated, particularly those without a clear issuance of service providers, such as decentralized exchanges. As a major outcome of the report, it may provide initial definitions of what constitutes as decentralization in the eyes of the regulators. She said, again, word for word, we agree that the situation is very much not that type of black and white scenario, but rather DeFi presented as a spectrum, she said. This DeFi spectrum would encompass a variety of different use cases, ranging from fully decentralized systems where there is no control or human intervention and operate independently, to systems that exhibit various degrees of control and management. Rather than laying out strict rules for the sector, legal experts are advocating for crypto standards, for clear standards. I think it is critical for the governments, policymakers, and the industries to first align with and agree on what really constitutes as DeFi. Now, Satcher, the former head of legal and compliance at the Elusive Protocol, told Cointelegraph. She said, explained that transforming proposed measures into enforceable regulations poses additional challenges. How and to whom can a regulator impose supervisory measures without a tangible actor in the system? What does it even mean to be tangible? He continued. The more a regulation is based on a certain standards and principles rather than rigid rules, the easier it is to apply to future technological innovations. DeFi describes financial services that operate on public blockchains, primarily on Ethereum network. Essentially, it recreates services offered by banks and financial institutions like lending, borrowing, trading, or insurance, but operates without having those institutions as intermediaries. The DeFi market is expected to expand in Europe in the coming years. Now, there's a prediction according to some data, predicts that DeFi sector will generate approximately $6.69 billion in revenue in 2024, with a compound annual growth rate of 9.67% between 2024 and 2028, reaching 9.68 billion in revenue in 2028. Now, obviously, it's going to be a lot more higher than that. But that's what she's predicting. But the rest of the stuff that she said regarding the banking sector and also some other members that chimed in from different EU market spaces, yes, they're all on the money regarding institutions coming in day by day. Regarding the DeFi space, the regulations are going to be there, but also the banking systems that are inside of this space that are using the DeFi space and expanding on DeFi space regarding lending, borrowings, trading, insurance, and so on. Yes, that's correct. For example, that German bank that came in inside of the space, inside of the crypto space, that partnered with Bitpanda has went into servicing regarding trading services. Also, another bank that partnered with Algorand is also went into that scenario as well inside the EU markets. Multiple EU banks have went inside the crypto space, and they're going into sides of trading, servicing, lending, borrowing, and so many other aspects inside of that digital era space. And also, whatever the other part that she said at the beginning, which was essentially all of those developments that were happening inside the crypto space at the beginning of the crypto times, which was utility, they were building utility, is now coming into play, is what she said. That is very correct. The world is definitely shifting into a digital space starting 2024. Now, that was also the same timeline that was given inside a G20 summit in New Delhi last year, where the world starts shifting into a new, digital space. Starting 2024, ending 2027, the same timeline that was discussed in the Bank of International Settlements and the World Economic Forum. So yes, what she said essentially about, the crypto space was building all this time, and now it's ready to launch regarding utility, and now is when the institutions come into play. Very, very correct. Also, what I said a very, very, very long time ago regarding now being the era of the world shifting into digital space. Everything that was mentioned was true, yes. The prediction part at the end of how much price movement of money is going to be coming in, that was her own thoughts. But everything else was all true, and yeah, they were all members of different EU organizations. Now, something that was also going to be introduced inside the United Kingdom was regarding the UK laws. UK law enforcement gains an enhanced powers to seize cryptocurrencies. Now, inside the United Kingdom, they did introduce the idea of the UK government being able to seize your cryptocurrencies. Now, this was introduced, and then it was signed into some sort of laws to be looked into, and so on and so on. And it's leveled up essentially, and has essentially passed. Let's say, regarding the United Kingdom being able to seize your crypto assets. Now, there are some points to cover, and if you think this is only relatable to the United Kingdom being able to seize your crypto assets, you're very, very, very mistaken, because the United Kingdom is a G20 country, and inside the G20 summit, they all signed a declaration where every G20 country will have the same sets of rules regarding crypto assets. Now, obviously, there will be some extra rules, but the majority of the rules will be the same. So if the UK has decided to be able to seize people's crypto assets, now we'll go through on regarding what they can seize and how they can seize. But regarding the United Kingdom being able to seize crypto assets, it won't just be the UK. Canada will have the same rules of seizing people's assets. The US will have the same rules. Australia will have the same rules. Japan will have the same rules, and so on and so on and so on. All G20 countries will have the same rules, is what I'm trying to say. They're all in the same declaration that they signed in the G20 summit in New Delhi last year. Now, UK law enforcement gains enhanced powers. And the only reason they said this is because they said the same way every plane in the sky has the same rules, cryptocurrencies will have the same rules between all these countries, is what they said essentially, what they compared it to. The plane and, essentially the sky and cryptocurrencies, everywhere have the same rules. Now, UK law enforcement gains enhanced powers to seize cryptocurrencies. The United Kingdom has passed a new legislation giving law enforcement authorities more power to seize cryptocurrencies. The action is one of many others aimed at dealing with financial crimes connected to digital assets. According to a recent announcement by the UK Home Office, police forces across the country will be able to confiscate cryptocurrencies even without a prior arrest starting this Friday. Essentially, so today. Well, today's Saturday right now inside the United Kingdom because it is around 12:42 a.m. right now. But starting essentially yesterday, the UK police is allowed to confiscate cryptocurrencies even if you don't have any sort of arrests. So if you've never been arrested in your entire lifetime, you have a clean slate, no criminal activity in your background, the UK police still has the right to confiscate your cryptocurrencies. Now we're going to go through on the basis of what? So, according to the recent announcement by the UK Home Office, police forces across the country will be able to confiscate your cryptocurrencies even without a prior arrest starting this Friday. Impact on crime fighting. The change is designed to streamline the process of securing assets believed to be obtained through criminal activities. Chief Crown Prosecutor Adrian Foster, stated that these measures provide the necessary flexibility to adapt to the evolving nature of criminal transactions involving digital currencies. Moreover, the ability to act swiftly enhances law enforcement capabilities to combat illegal activities funded through cryptocurrencies, including operations by T organizations. I'm not going to say the word, but T organizations. It's a group of people and it starts with T. The UK, the UK police will now be equipped with crypto tactical advisors. This is how serious it's getting, where the UK police, and again, whatever happens in the UK is happening in other G20 countries. So the UK police will now be equipped with tactical advisors and have the authority to transfer seized digital assets into law enforcement managed wallets. So crypto police will have their own essentially crypto wallet. The crypto police, the police inside the United Kingdom will have their own crypto wallet, not their own crypto wallet, but a crypto wallet that the police would use, where they can seize your crypto assets and send them to that wallet. And the police in the UK will have advisors, tactical crypto advisors with them. Additionally, in certain cases where the circulation of recovered assets might harm the public, the authorities can destroy these assets as well. They can also destroy your crypto assets, not just seize them and send them to their own wallets, but they can, destroy them. Home Secretary James Cleverly highlighted that the updated powers will significantly boost national security efforts by disrupting financial channels used by T groups. Starts with a T and it's a group of people. The legislative update marks a significant step in the UK's approach to regulating the use of cryptocurrencies, aligning law enforcement's capabilities with the challenges of digital financial activities. Now, this is also, I get it. I get the reason why they're doing it. They're trying to stop, transactions to T group of people. So illicit activities, money not being sent abroad to be used to buy missiles and so on, is what they're trying to do. Now, the issue is they can stop anybody pretty much if they think you're doing illicit activities. Now, if that power is in the wrong person's hands, they can pretty much seize anybody they want. And they do it no questions asked. As in, if they believe you're using your crypto for illicit activities, they'll come to you, they'll arrest you, take your crypto assets away from you, is what they will do. And then they will seize your crypto assets, go through 6 months of, back and forward. And if you're not doing any sort of illicit activities, then they will obviously give your cryptocurrencies back to you. But it's the headache of, if they think you're doing illicit activities, they will seize your crypto assets 6 months back and forward, or it could be a year back and forward, and then they might release your crypto assets to you. Not might, they will. But and they're only doing this is because they said, if we go for somebody, if we believe somebody's doing illicit activities with cryptocurrencies, and we try to, take them to court and then seize their crypto assets, they might move their crypto assets. So they said, if we believe, we'll just arrest you, seize them, do the background checks on you, and if you're not doing illicit activities, here's your crypto back. Instead of taking you to court, are you doing illicit activities? Are you not doing illicit activities? By the time we take you to court, the police said you just transfer the crypto somewhere else. So we'll stop you in your footprints, seize your crypto assets, do the background checks, and then let you go on your way. Is what they're doing essentially. But it's only for illicit activities. So before anybody gets, it is quite alarming, but at the same time, it's not. So before anybody goes, oh, the UK can arrest everybody, or everybody's assets are at risk, and so on, so on, so on. Technically, no. If it's only being used for illicit activities, and how would they know that you're being used for illicit activities? Essentially, is that. So yeah, don't be too alarmed, but yeah, that's essentially that's going to be happening in other G20 countries as well. So if you're in Canada, that's going to happen. Australia, that's going to happen. Regarding the police having that force. So I'm looking at our Telegram group. There's something going on inside our Telegram group. I'll take a look at it after. Okay. So sorry about that. I was just looking inside the Telegram group that we have. I can't do anything about Telegram group right now because we're doing a live show. But afterwards, still that goes. Now just go back to this. But let's say because of tokenization, XRP. If you have, by the way, if you have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. We still do have quite a bit of news to go through as well. I just did a quick research, National Bank, yep. But let's just say because of tokenization, XRP is 100 euros, and then Black Swan event. Does that happen and crash? Will it affect XRP's price much or not? Okay. No. Yes, it will. Do you think we will see 3 euros? Could cold storage attacks on the horizon? Is there cold storage attacks on the horizon? We should always be careful regarding your crypto wallets. Always be careful regarding crypto wallets. There's multiple hacks and multiple scams going around. That's what you mean. Can it go from 100? Can it go from like 100 to 5 euros by crash, or because of utility? Or because of utility, it cannot. So I'm getting notifications from the Telegram group at the same time. Apologies by everyone about this. From like 100 to 5 euros by crash. Possibility of anything of that happening, or because of utility, it can't. If the assets are still being held, then no, it won't be able to do that. Or because of utility, it can't. Well, if the assets are holding. LCX have released that will be starting to tokenize property, etc., after a great response to their tokenized diamond, all on their website. Okay. LCX is going to be doing tokenized diamond. LCX is security. A lot of people should know this as well. According to a lawsuit that was between the SEC and a former member of the Coinbase. So, former manager of Coinbase was taken to court by the SEC because the former manager of Coinbase was inside of some insider trading situations where he was helping other members in his family do insider trading because he had the capabilities of being a Coinbase manager. And he was taken to court by the SEC. However, this man did not go to court, and therefore the SEC went to court, and the SEC, obviously the judge ruled in favor of the SEC because the man that was supposed to be coming to court didn't even have the decency to come to court. And therefore, that was the first win the SEC ever had inside the crypto space, you could say. And inside of that case, there was a group of tokens inside of that case. And LCX was one of the tokens inside of that case, was because of that case declared a security. Now, I know obviously LCX is not a security inside of Liechtenstein, but as I said previously, it could be a security in Liechtenstein. I mean, it could be whatever it wants to be in Liechtenstein. But if the SEC declares it a security, it's a security. Essentially, they could do whatever they want. The SEC. Gary Gensler has that power of doing whatever he wants. He's been doing it for a very long time, and even though he's been abusing his power, but he still, does whatever he wants, and nobody's able to remove him. Obviously, the only person that can remove him is the United States president. But that's only if the United States presidency that he's not doing his job properly, which in this case is Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe can't do his job properly. Never mind, trying to find out if Gary Gensler is doing his job properly. And regarding LCX, it is technically declared a security inside the United States because of that one case, because that one moron that didn't come up to court. But it's not a bad thing. On the website. Miles, please take 2 minutes and go inside the serial Telegram group right now. I'm about to start blocking. Carrie, do not block anyone. Getting a bit heated in Telegram, Miles. Share it with us, please. And you share it with us, please. Share what's happening inside Telegram. I don't know what's happening. Some debates going on inside Telegram group. Blocked him. Sorry, I thought I blocked him, but I can't. Not allowing me to. Okay. Okay, after this live, I'll block him. We are coming up, so to the endings of this live as well. So then I'll block him. It's okay, Miles. As you said, everyone has an opinion. Yeah, that's true. Everyone has an opinion. Now, so we talked about the UK rules and regulations regarding. We talked about the UK regulations regarding being able to seize your crypto assets. Was the last news we read, and now we're going to move on to. You know what? We'll move on to this one, actually. We'll move on to this one. Ohio. Here's one thing that we never always say. Ohio. Ohio mules law to protect Bitcoin rights, scraps capital gains tax. So as we know, recently Joe Biden decided to bring out capital gains tax. 1 second, everyone. There is something going on in Telegram. Sorry about this. Okay, so going back to this. I do apologize, everyone. Going back to this. Okay, there's some conversations going on in here as well. Any more news? Yes, we have a lot more news to come. I'm inside a Telegram reading. It is a storm inside a teacup. We should keep cool heads is what is needed for investing. Yep. Yeah, some back and forth in Telegram. All good though. Miles should be the one to decide who gets the properly blocked. Yeah. How do I get on the Telegram group? Click on the link. The Telegram link is inside of my YouTube and also my X, on my X channel. So if you go to my X profile, the Telegram link is there for the CMF group, and also on YouTube, and it's free to join. There's a fist fight going on the Telegram chill zone. Yeah. There's a very heated debate going on inside the Telegram group right now. That's right. So Ohio. Ohio moves laws to protect Bitcoin rights and scraps capital gains tax. As we all know, Joe Biden decided to introduce a 40% capital gains tax, which is absolutely ridiculous. And Ohio is one of the states that decided to protect Bitcoin mining institutions. Interesting enough. Now, Ohio State Congressman has introduced legislations that will protect the right to use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a peer-to-peer mediums of exchange. The Ohio Blockchain Basics Act, sponsored by State Rep Steve, ensures Americans' financial freedom by protecting their right to buy and sell, to mine, and to self-custody their digital assets, as well as to run personal blockchain nodes, according to a summary provided by the Satoshi Act Fund. I mean, on one side of the spectrum, we have the United Kingdom going around seizing people's assets. On the other side of the spectrum, we have the Ohio state, saying freedom of rights, people can buy, sell, do whatever they want on the crypto blockchain space. This legislation that I recently introduced will lay the foundation for Ohio to become a leader in the blockchain and digital assets industries. The text of the bill also advocates for more lenient taxes on cryptocurrencies when used as an actual medium of exchange, suggesting that Bitcoin and other coins should receive the same tax treatment as a legal tender in such transactions. The General Assembly shall not enact a bill that proposes to impose a fee of tax, assessments, or other change on digital assets used as a method of payment for goods and services that is based on the use of digital assets as a method of payment, it states. The bill even calls for a mandatory evolution of certain digital assets investments by the state's retirement systems. The clause includes the evolution of Bitcoin spot ETFs as an investment option for Ohio's police, fire, teacher, highway patrol, and public employee pension funds. The legislation makes Ohio the 16th state to introduce legislation this year intended to defend Bitcoin in the face of countering moves by federal lawmakers trying to move in the opposite direction. Democrats like Senator Elizabeth Warren have repeatedly pushed legislations to impose bank secrecy acts, reporting requirements on crypto wallets and wallet providers, miners, Bitcoin mining institutions, and validators, and crackdowns on the use of digital assets for criminal activities. Yes, that is very true. Senator Elizabeth Warren is heavily against cryptocurrencies, but that's only because Senator Elizabeth Warren also shares the same brain cells as a goldfish. Meanwhile, the Biden administration has threatened the mining industry. Also, Sleepy Joe shares the same brain cells as a goldfish, maybe less. The Biden administration has threatened the mining industry with burdensome reporting requirements and was contemplating a 25% tax on unrealized capital gains for high net worth individuals that would also affect crypto whales. That measure has since been is now tabled. Under Biden's budget proposal, the regulators' gains capital tax rate for people earning over $1 million annually would also rise to 44.6%. Yes, that is true. Sleepy Joe is trying to raise it to a ridiculous price point regarding taxations. Definitely. But it's nice to see some states standing up for the freedom rights of people, being able to buy cryptocurrencies, hold cryptocurrencies, and do whatever they want with their cryptocurrencies and not pay ridiculous taxes, essentially. So it's nice to see the state of Ohio trying to stand for people's rights. It won't last too long, but it's nice to see them try. Now, what's Carol? Miles, the CMF is not a pro-crypto group. CMF just like to read PDF documents, and that is a fact. XRP does have all those partnerships. Yes, that's true. The CMF is not about just XRP. The CMF is everything. You could like any cryptocurrencies and be a part of the CMF. You don't have to we don't support one particular cryptocurrency. This live show that I do, the CMF, it doesn't stand for XRP, it doesn't stand for Bitcoin, it doesn't stand for Ethereum. The CMF in general stands for Crypto Miles Family. So crypto in general. So you can like any crypto project and be a part of the CMF. You don't have to be XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum fan or so on. You should never do that. Please enjoy the movie with your family. Don't stress out. These little. Sorry about this. Again, I'm in the comments. I'm in the Telegram group of my group. We get lots of notifications. When you have a moment, I would like to ask you a few questions. Since you created this group, it only makes sense for you to provide that clarity. And I can't watch the live today because I'm watching a movie. No problem. Moses, no problem. Please enjoy it. Clarifications required regarding pensions. There's some things in relation to this group. Not only that they all seem to go. People, if they say something, I'll stop now. Yeah, stop. There we go. David, stop. Okay, brilliant. Come to some understandings. Appreciate that, brother. But believe me, I am not stressed. I just want to stand up for equality and our favorable treatments. Yes, facts. Yeah, the CMF is not about, as I told you, Sleepy Joe's best friends with Gary Gensler. Yeah, Sleepy Joe is definitely best friends with Gary Gensler because they equally share the same brain cell. Gary Gensler and, I would have to say Gary Gensler, Sleepy Joe, and Elizabeth Warren. they equally together share one brain cell. That's a fact. And apparently the same wallet. His friends will go against them. Yeah. Um, I've not been around in a while. Good to see you are still going strong. Let's go, Crypto J. Also, Maldives. Maldives to permanently ditch the US dollar for trade settlements. Now, that is another country coming out and trying to go against the United States. It won't last too long. The Maldives is shaking up the state's core, pushing forward with plans to ditch the US dollar in favor of local currencies for its major trading activities, especially with powerhouse economies like India and China. This island nation is a hotspot for tourists. It's not just about sun, sea, and sand anymore, guys. Right now, it is on the verge of making an economic decision that could significantly alter the global economy as we know it. So, every year, the Maldives sends a cool $780 million to India for imports. Instead of paying in dollars, they're now in talks to use their own money, the Maldivian Reef. It's a game changer for trade dynamics and a potential financial headache for the US dollar's dominance in global markets. Shifting sands in global trade. Mohammed Said, the Maldives Minister for Economic Development, dropped a massive hint about this financial pivot. According to him, there is a solid chance they'll start making payments in currencies other than the US dollar. The decision to accept local currencies and not the US dollar for payments is now in the BRICS member India's court, he stated, underscoring the pivotal role India plays in this financial relationship, let's say. Now, it's interesting because India is playing both countries right now. So India is playing, the happy card with the US and the G20 countries, but India is also playing the middleman for the BRICS nations. So India is playing both sides, and it's never a good idea to play both sides at all. So India is trying to be a middleman for BRICS, but also trying to be a middleman for the US. That's never a good side, never a good thing to do. So India is trying to replace China with imports and exports by using Indian workers instead of Chinese workers. But then at the same time, they're telling other countries to get away from the US dollar. So I don't see how that's going to work out for them in the long term. It's a very bad move to do, to play both sides. Now, and the idea of the Maldives leaving the US dollar is because of India. This isn't a spontaneous decision. The groundwork has been laid back in since 2023 when India greenlit special Vostro bank accounts in the Maldives. You can see in 2023, India was preparing the Maldives to move away from the US dollar. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, has been promoting the Indian rupees in arrangements suggesting a mutual comfort and moving away from the dollar. Moreover, the BRICS 2024 summit set for October in Russia, Kazan region, is expected to champion this de-dollarization, with new members like the UAE, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia potentially joining, and even Saudi Arabia if they agree. The summit is poised to be a major event in global economics. Sergio, Russia's deputy foreign minister, hinted at the historic milestones, emphasizing a stronger alliance, pushing towards a multipolar world where resilience on the US dollar diminishes. BRICS is currently moving towards success. I am absolutely sure of that, stated by Russia, reflecting a strong sentiment within the bloc about reducing dollar dependency. The global economic and BRICS expansions on the broader economic front, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, predicts a steady growth rate of 3.2% for 2024, through individual forecasts for major nations vary. While G7 countries are experiencing mixed fortunes, BRICS nations like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and South Africa are looking at higher growth rates than the previous years. In contrast, powerhouse economies like China and India are seeing a slight dip compared to their previous growth figures, with China growing 0.6 percentage points slower and India by a full percentage point. Despite these variances, BRICS countries with their combined GDP notably lower than G7's but growing at a faster rate or economic size within the next couple of decades. The expansion of BRICS has seen its challenges. Argentina turned down essentially an invitation to join in late December, while Saudi Arabia remains on the fence. However, South Africa's Foreign Minister Nadali Pandor noted that 34 countries have shown interest in joining BRICS, which indicates a growing influence and appeal of the bloc on the global stage. All eyes are now on the upcoming BRICS summit in Kazan, scheduled for October 22nd to 24th. It's expected to be a defining moment, potentially ushering the new members and further solidifying a change towards the multipolar economic world where the US dollar is no longer the sole currency kingpin. Now, what also this shows is that 34 plus countries not only want to join BRICS, but 34 plus countries also want to move away from SWIFT, is what it does show. 34 plus countries also want to move away from SWIFT, is what it shows. Not just, they're moving away from the US dollar, but they want to get away from essentially the SWIFT payment system as well, because SWIFT is not technically a payment tool, it's a political tool, is what it's used for. By going around sanctioning countries, and every country has that fear of one day being sanctioned by SWIFT, because again, it's not a payment tool, it's technically a political tool. So let's get into the comment section now, before we go on to the next one. But yeah, major events happening essentially, with the G20 with some of the G20 countries joining BRICS. I've been around in a while. Good to see you, Stephen Song. Let's go. I can just imagine Gary Gensler going around with a high-vis jacket, asking to see my crypto portfolio. I see the live stream on X. Do you also run Spaces live on X by chance? Yes. I have never done it, but I join other people's. I join Larry's and Radish's, Crypto Radish or Larry. or Espo. I joined their Spaces sometimes. I joined theirs yesterday, for example. But no, we haven't done an X space yet, but we will do eventually, definitely. So if you're enjoying this live show, you're watching for the first time, anyone, drop a follow, drop a like. We're going to be doing X spaces as well for illegal activities. Sooner the people realize that we are all one big family and we are in it to make money, the better. Yes, facts. Door to door, no cold callers for me. We are all here to help each other on the CMF. Yes, facts. Moses was asking why a lot in the group are pro XRP, and I replied that is mostly because it's your number one in your portfolio and you have advocated for many times on the live, so maybe that's how it's all come about with the group. Yeah, but no, the CMF group, I get that. The CMF group we have, which is called CMF, it stands for, just so everybody should know, the CMF, which is the name of this live show, the CMF live show, it stands for Crypto Miles Family. Crypto Miles Family. It doesn't stand for, XRP Miles Family or Bitcoin Miles Family or Ethereum Miles Family. It stands for Crypto Miles Family. So in general, if you like crypto, then, join the CMF is what it is. Not if you like XRP or only if you like Bitcoin or only if you like Ethereum. In general, it's Crypto Miles Family. So any crypto you like, you like the idea of blockchain, you want to know more about blockchain, you're into cryptocurrencies, anything regarding that blockchain space, then join the CMF is what it stands for. Not XRP Mouse Family or Bitcoin Mouse Family or Ethereum Mouse Family, it's Crypto Mouse Family. So in general, it's any crypto. Miles, we all appreciate you so much and what you do for us for free. Let's go, Funky Brother. And yep, let's go, Shelly as well. Nobody has the time to do what you do, top man. Let's go, Funky Brother. Thanks so much for the kind words. Has anyone played the Sandbox game with used land and sand tokens? I wonder if I should give it a go. Anyone know much about this project? Yes, Sand. Years ago, I went on to Sand and I messed about with it. Absolutely, years ago. Not years ago. Well, last year actually it was. Last year or the year before that. All good. I'm back. Let's go. Happy Pisces. How you doing? A little family feud. I guess everyone's fine now. Yeah. Just not the zoo coins as well. We get annoyed. Yeah, just not the zoo coins. Yeah, it's true. Have you heard any more about your interview with XRP Queen? No, I still haven't heard. I don't message XRP Queen. I normally just wait for XRP Queen to message me back because I know she's very busy as well, and I'm very busy as well. But I'm guessing when she does have an opening, she'll let me know. But no, so far I haven't heard back from her. I hope she's doing okay as well. Oh, great. Oh, there we go. The chat is connected again. For a second, the chat is connected. But yeah, no, I'm waiting for her to come back from wherever she's filming from. Now, also something else to go through as well is this, which is SIBO. So SIBO streamlines operations with digital assets and derivatives business merger. The SIBO Global Markets disseminated the information on its new and improved strategies for its business ventures on essentially Thursday that happened. The corporation is plotting to combine its crypto asset futures with its global derivatives and clearing collections. So the SIBO essentially is bringing traditional finance into the digital space. Now SIBO had their own little crypto space department, but they're now merging it into their institutional space, like their business space, their business clients, and so on. They're trying to expand crypto in that sort of aspects, which again is great for the adoption of crypto. So the corporation, the SIBO, the corporation is plotting to combine its crypto asset futures with its global derivatives and clearing collections. The company's recent decision to strengthen its strict position occurred after a market overview that included the efficiency and business applications across various sectors and markets. Integration of digital assets into mainstream operation. SIBO's digital derivatives markets products will be incorporated with SIBO's primary derivatives operations as a part of the newly adopted strategy. The digital assets getting integrated into the platform speak of SIBO's decision to increase its presence in the derivatives of digital assets by building on its existing infrastructure. The consolidation will be aimed at smoothing operations, reducing costs, and employing the global financial company network to achieve optimal asset management and trading services. The institutional sector is heavily getting involved inside of blockchain, especially as we're getting into that utility space now. The transaction is scheduled to be completed with a minimum adverse effect on SIBO's net revenues for the fiscal year of 2024. This shows that the change is well planned and is in consideration direction that the company wishes to move forward financially and grow. SIBO's decision to recognize this way will strengthen its business market position due to the diversification and sophistication of its services across different assets. Planned shutdown of SIBO digital spot market. So they're closing down, their original cryptocurrency platform, which some people might see as a bad thing, but in general, it's a good thing because they're going to be blending in their crypto platform, their crypto spot platform into their business and traditional aspects, which means more money in the long run. The newly launched business is additionally set to close down its SIBO digital spot market. The payoff dates are supposed to be from the third quarter of this year. This gesture is aimed at getting over the waste of finances specializing on the business that will bring higher returns and better blending on the essentially international operations structure. The CEO of SIBO Global Markets, Fred, was the person essentially that made the decision reflected that the careful strategizing behind it. He indicated that these changes would be fundamental for the improvements of business performance that he aimed for a higher level of essentially of that direction. The business would like to devote its resources to whether the anticipated growth can be gained in the long term from the creation of the shareholder values can be realized, expanding global presence and regulatory developments. Additionally, SIBO's review includes investigating possible locations of branches beyond its current branches in the United States, Japan, Europe, Canada, and Australia. Such as an initiative, it intended to operate in more foreign markets, thus ensuring at a further expansion of its international outreach and territory. The corporation plans to present its first quarter results on May 3rd, which could bring additional insights into its financial conditions and business strategy. So right now they're already expanded, obviously within the US markets, Japan markets, Europe markets, Canadian markets, and Australian markets. Which again, all this is going to be bringing that adoption rate for cryptocurrencies, especially from the corporate sector. Meanwhile, in regulatory developments, SIBO made a huge move on April 4th by submitting a rule change to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). This change allows mutual funds to gain exposure to Bitcoin ETFs share classes. Such development could invite new directions for Bitcoin and other digital currencies in the mutual fund industry by following the recent strong demand for Bitcoin spot ETFs. Constantly, Cboe's BZX exchange also recently reconsidered the processing of another proposed rule change by the US SEC, which would have enabled Global X to list a Bitcoin ETF. The implementation couldn't follow its initial timetable and had been formally drawn on January 26 as a result of this assembly, which underwent intense reviews by the SEC at a essentially at different stages of that previous month. So CBOE coming in heavy-handed. They closed down their spot markets, which some people thought was a bad idea. CBOE's going out of crypto. No, no, no. But that's only because journalists were twisting their words. In reality, CBOE's closing down their crypto department to actually blend their crypto department with their business department to expand on the crypto department within the Japanese markets, Australian markets, Canadian markets, US markets, for example, which is great for crypto adoption because that's what we want. We want traditional finance, just connecting to the digital finance essentially because that is where all the money is at essentially. And it's massive news regarding CBOE. And also CBOE applying for a new type of licensing to the SEC, which I hope they get an approval for because it also does expand on essentially on the crypto space as well. It expands on the Bitcoin space, but expanding on Bitcoin within the corporate sector also expands and it brings attention to the rest of the crypto space as well. Hello, Miles of CMF. Ghost Burner, good to see you as well. How you doing, Ghost Burner? How you been? So, yeah. We do have a bit more news to go through as well, but we're gonna leave it for part 2 tomorrow, is what we're gonna do. So, this was episode 39 of the CMF live show. Tomorrow we'll do a longer live show of episode 30 of the CMF live show. We do have a little bit more news to go as well through, but we'll leave for part 2 tomorrow. So if you want to know the rest of the news that we didn't get to cover tonight, we'll cover it tomorrow on part 2 of this live show, but episode 30 then, because now it's episode 39. So if you enjoyed this live show, just want to say hello to everybody. JP, good to see you as well. How you doing? Good night, Miles of CMF. I shall see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow night, God willing. Let's go, Funky Brother. Funky Brother, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. I just want to say, if you were watching this live show for the first time ever and you enjoyed this live show, then you can tune into this live show every single night. The reason why I say night is because I'm airing this live show from London, so at my time it's night time. For you, it might be morning time or evening time. But if you enjoyed this live show, you can tune into this live show every single night or every single day, depending on where you're around the world. It's called the CMF Live Show, and we talk about cryptocurrencies in general, cryptocurrencies, blockchains, CBDCs, and we also do Q&As, which means if you have a question, put it down in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. If you're watching this on X, follow me on X and tune into it every single night. Starts at 11:25 p.m. on X Live and YouTube Live, exactly 11:25 p.m. as well. This live show airs essentially on both of them. So, if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow on YouTube if you're watching me on YouTube, or drop a follow on X if you're watching me on X. You can tune into this live show every single night. This was episode 39. Episode 30 will be tomorrow. So the outro of this live show that I typically do is thank you so much to everybody from the CMF and also anybody that was new watching this live show. Thanks so much to every single one of you that's retweeted this live show. Thanks so much to every single one of you that's been tapping on the screen on X and YouTube. It helps to spread this live show around. And also, thank you so much to all the CMF for tuning in every single night. I just want to say everybody have a great day, depending on where you're around the world, or an amazing night, depending on where you're around the world. And I'll see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Great live, Miles. Take care. CMF. Ray, see you tomorrow, but the same time as usual. Good night, everybody. Just been a crazy night, day. Yeah. Miles, you are a real deal. I know because I have been here with you from the beginning through illness, birthdays, etc. Let's go, Scott. Thank you, brother, for the time. Let's go. That's true as well. Good night, Miles. Regarding Scott being here in the early days. Very true. Good night, Miles and family. Let's all play nice tomorrow, or you might have to stand in the corner. Let's go, Mike. Miles, any updates on the CMF hedge fund for the time being? And I'm still going through what's the best method to use so we don't fall under any sort of regulation issues. Good to be a part of this live. I've learned a lot. Let's go, Crypto J. Great live. Let's go, JR. Troy, good night all. Troy, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. Everyone, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual. If there is a Black Swan event, Miles, will there be only one online to give us the live show? Let's go, Billo. Good night, Miles and family. Great live, thanks. Ian, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual, brother. Also, have you not updated your profile on Telegram? I haven't yet, but I will because I start changing things around. Thanks, Miles, for another great live. Adi, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual, no problem. Happy Pisces, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual. Lena, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual. I'm investing in Miles. Please do not forget me. Let's go scope. I never will, brother. Thanks, Miles. Good night, everyone. Orphan, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. So, again, thank you so much to every single one of you for tuning in CMF, for engaging in the comment sections, tapping on the screen on X and tapping on the screen on YouTube. Everyone have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world, CMF. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual. If you did enjoy this live show, you're watching for the first time, tune into it every single night on X Live, on YouTube Live at the exact same time, 11:25 p.m. See everybody tomorrow, sometimes usual. Good night, Miles of all CMF. Emont, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. Ghost Runner, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual. Shelly, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, sometimes usual. Miles, last question. Should I convert my Ethereum into other coins? No, I think you're good. Just keep it on that scenario, on that basis of the ETF scenario, which will push the price up eventually. So you're good. See everybody tomorrow, sometimes usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world. In case the price might drop on if there's a possibility if the case gets actually processed, but then there's also a possibility it might just be a waste of a time and be a complete reversal. So let's see these couple of days. Let's see what happens regarding SEC and Consors and MetaMask, and then we'll get a better picture of what's going on. I sent you another DM. Scott, I'll check it out after this live show. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you're around the world.